we're ready to make some kind of dough. Yeah, this is ready starter. We're gonna make brioche. So we're gonna make a no-knead style of brioche. So if you look up your brioche recipes, it's an enriched bread, it's got eggs and it's got butter in it and milk. It's gonna have like a really buttery, really soft crumb, really wonderful texture. It's usually egg washed and has like a shiny crust on it. The end product will be like that, but how we get there is going to be different than you might expect or than you might be more familiar with. So there's no KitchenAid mixer. There is no emulsifying in the fat and the eggs. Everything's going to kind of happen together. I have everything pre-measured. Here we go. Let's go brioche. No knead sourdough brioche. Okay, so just because we're using sourdough starter doesn't mean that the brioche itself is going to be sour. It's not going to be like a really pungent, sour kind of, San Francisco style bread. It's going to have a really nice mild flavor. All right, we need a lot of starter. We need 160 grams of starter. Much more than, say, a normal sourdough round or sourdough sandwich loaf. This is the only thing I have not pre-measured because it just looked so pretty in the jar. 161, that'll work for me. And this is actually going to get used for another batch of dough after we're done with this. Make some milk bread. Okay, starter, and then in this little bowl, I have 80 milliliters, about a third of a cup of milk, and I just brought it to room temperature, 50 grams of sugar, 10 grams of salt. It's a really low amount of liquid, but we'll make up for a lot of that with the eggs. So I'm just going to mix this together, kind of break it down, get it incorporated a little bit. .500 grams of flour, and 4 eggs, 4 whole eggs. This is going to be a pretty sticky one for kneading, but that's okay. You've done sourdough bread before. This should be familiar. And I've got some butter. I've got 160 grams of butter here. And it's just warmed. I'm going to start with this that we have in the bowl so far and just get it working and get it incorporated a little bit before I get all that fat in there. As far as the mixing technique goes, if you've done the sourdough round or the sourdough sandwich loaf, this is the same kind of method of using your fingertips, not your whole hand, to incorporate the wet ingredients into the dry ingredients. And I know we still have butter to go still, but we're gonna get the eggs moving a little bit first. For starter, if you don't have a sourdough starter, I will link to the how to make a sourdough starter playlist, and I'll also link to how to activate your starter if you do have a starter and you just need more of a refresher on how to get it going. All right, so it's rough and crumbly, and I'm gonna go butter. So it's not hot, it's just melted. No hot ingredients here. Room temperature kind of ingredients. So I promise this will get stretchy, but it'll be a while. Just like when we make a batch of sourdough bread, regular bread, it starts off kind of being really crumbly, and this is going to feel worse than that because of all the fat. But it's what makes for amazing bread, amazing brioche. And if you look at this now, just check my camera. So if you look at this now, it's gonna look greasy. And we're gonna keep moving it around until it smooths out and it gets shiny. Pretty wet for not having much water, no water. And 80 milliliters of milk is really just 1/3 of a cup. So all this liquid is purely fat and eggs. So it still looks slimy. Even though it's starting to get a little bit of a shine, I can also feel that the fat is all on the outside. Let's see, am I staying in my camera angle? The bowl is super clean, like with all this fat really lubricates. But I'm looking for more than just the bowl cleaning up. So total time here, it's probably been about a good solid 5 minutes. My arm is tired. But I've got a nice, I can even tuck and fold it. Nice smooth dough. It's got like a nice temperature to it. It's not hot, it's not cold. Sticky, but with all the fat, like it really lets go. And I'm gonna put this into container. And we'll come back in like 40 minutes or so and we'll give it its first stretch and fold. This is gonna be the same stretch and fold type of process that we do with like a no-knead sourdough bread. So not a lot changing here other than the ingredients that went in the bowl. So we'll do 4 stretches, we'll do a bulk proofing, and then we're gonna put it in the fridge. And then there will be a shaping when it's cold in the morning. So I started this about 2:30 in the afternoon, and then it'll go into refrigeration tonight around 10. But don't worry, you'll be with me, we'll do it together.